All right. Welcome to our Monday member spotlight for the Leap for Ladies community. And it is my pleasure to be here introducing everyone to Dawn Stebbing. Am I saying your last name right, Dawn?
You got it right. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm so excited to introduce everyone to Dawn. Some of you may know her. She's been a LEAP member for a while, as far as I know, because I've been a member for a couple of years, and I know I met Dawn through this community. So excited to have you tell us a little bit more about yourself, Dawn, and what you do for a living and how you help women entrepreneurs or just any entrepreneurs in what you do for business.
Great. Well, thank you for having me, Mary. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
My journey's been a long journey, believe me. I'm not young at this, that's for sure. But if I could add, anything to today, it's going to be around confidence. And why I say that is because it takes a lot of courage to get out there and really take what you have been through and put it into where you are today. So my journey started, my business, let's go there. My business is close to 15 years in the making. And
Nice.
yes, and I learn every single day. I mean, I'm constantly learning something new. And I always acknowledge that, like, wow, even just the other day, it's like I'm trying to put in a tea time in the tea sheet, and I'm going, I didn't know how to put it in because we have a new platform, and it's with these new platforms, everything changes. So I've always embraced the new things that I learn on a daily basis. But being when my business started, I started out as a full-fledged image consultant, but I've been on my own since I would say 2003, working, as a solopreneur. And my business started as an image in the image consulting world because before that I was a former hairstylist. I sold skincare, cosmetics, and nutrition products in a direct sales company. And I knew there was always something more out there. I knew God put me on this planet to do more and to help women in a larger way than just selling products or cutting hair. And there was more to what I wanted to do. So someone said the words image consulting to me, and it hit me so strong in my gut that it felt like, oh my God, is that it? You just go, is that it? So yeah, needless to say, I just jumped into it. I figured it out. I found a course that I could take and learned the image consulting role, which is really what I love to do. I love beauty. Beauty is part of what I do and how I've been doing it for a long time. And it's not just about helping people look good on the outside, though. As I went through my career in these last 14, 15 years, I've learned that there's so much more to a woman than just putting clothes on their body. And it's really about connecting with who they are on the inside and bringing out that true confidence that they so deserve and want, and just stand out amongst everybody else doing the same thing you're doing. And I thought, oh gosh, because I struggled with this myself. Like, what makes me different? What makes me different than anyone else out there that's doing the same thing I'm doing? Right. And I go, so a learning process. If I could teach you something faster than I've learned it, I'm going to do it.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I started. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm still hanging out. I've been a leader a long time. That's another story we'll talk about in another day. But from leadership to sales to image, it all is encompassing who you are and how you want to go out and speak to the world as your true, authentic self with integrity.
I love that. And it's something that it's a constant process, right? It's not like you figure it out one day and you have it for the rest of your life, right? I think, people talk about conquering imposter syndrome. And I say, well, imposter syndrome means that you're challenging yourself, right? It means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So you feel like an imposter if you're constantly growing. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but we do have to have enough confidence to step out of our comfort zone and keep growing. And so it is a constant, we want to keep growing. We don't want to be stagnant and not grow. So how have you helped women and men kind of get through that? Do you work with men as well, or do you focus primarily on women?
I have worked with men in the past, and
Okay.
I'm not afraid to work with men at all.
Right, right.
I really focus more on women today, but
Yeah,
yes,
me
I've
too.
had, yes.
There are those special men that come into our world,
Yes.
right? That want to work with us, and that's great. But primarily focus on helping women, which is wonderful. So how do you help women kind of overcome that? I'm kind of gotten to this comfort zone in my confidence level, but I know I need to grow to the next level. Like you said at the beginning, in your story, you knew that there was something bigger, there was something more. So what advice do you have for women out there that are feeling that, especially maybe as they get to the end of the year and they're looking forward to the next year, and how am I going to play bigger next year, right? What kind of advice would you give to women in that boat?
Yes, because this was something that came up for me in the last 5 years. Originally moved here from Minnesota, so I'm living in Mesa, Arizona right now. So when I moved here, I kind of lost my identity a little bit. However, this is what I'm going to share with you. In order to grow, and you want to grow, is one, you've got to hang around people that are positive people, and people that have your back. And I love being around communities that have real positive women that have your back and that are going to help you grow. One of the things that I've also learned is I was very visible in Minnesota. And when I came here, when I say I lost my identity, I didn't know. I mean, my whole environment changed. My whole the place that I live has changed. The atmosphere has changed. I was used to dressing a certain way, showing up a certain way. And and then obviously 5 years ago, COVID hit and then everything shut down. So I really got comfortable and just like everybody else, we got comfortable. And I had to figure this out for myself. Well, what happened is I wasn't being visible. And in order to be visible, you have to put yourself into action. And if you don't put yourself into action, nobody's going to know who you are, what you do, and how you want to make a difference in the world. Until you decide to show up and be more visible, you will not be seen by others. And your business will not grow. Your business will only grow when you show up and you stand out amongst everybody else. And I say that I'm going to say that with a lot of grit here, because standing out amongst everybody else that does what you do is very important, because I have met a handful of other image consultants out there. So what makes me different? You have to prove that to other people to show them who you are, because we're all different. And if you really want to know how to stand out and be that one person, this is what I teach my clients is we want to get to the core of who you are and how you want to be perceived by others. And what makes you different? I get to the core of what makes you different than anyone else out there doing the same thing, because it's not competition. And I've learned this too. You're only in competition with yourself. You're not in competition with other people. If you can be creative instead of competitive, that is a strong suit right there. So you really, really want to focus on being creative and no competition.
I love that. Be creative instead of competitive. That is fantastic advice, right? And I love going back, you do really have to surround yourself with positive people. That's what I love about the LEAP community. I'm part of some other women's communities that are just very, very supportive, and they are more collaborative versus competitive, which if you can find that group of people, it's just amazing what you can do, that support you can get, because we all need that support at different times in our business, right? Sometimes you're receiving the support, sometimes you're giving the support, but that's the power of these communities.
Right.
And then I love just being creative and helping yourself be visible in a creative way rather than I have to outshine my competition. It's like I'm just going to show up and shine in my own brilliance, right? Rather than trying to compete with everybody else's brilliance. So those are just great, great pieces of advice for us as we wrap up this year of 2024. You have on your LinkedIn profile behind your name, you have a lot of initials. Can you tell me what some of those certifications are? I love the alphabet soup there.
Yeah,
Right?
it is. And sometimes I wonder, I'm just going to share this. I've learned this also, is that nobody really cares about your credentials, to be honest with you. Yes, it is accomplishments because it is something that you did, and certifications, or you went to an Ivy League school and you're a PhD. Those are important. The words doctor are important. Mine stand for the Association of Image Consultants International. I am a certified image consultant, and I'm a personal brand leader and certified personal brand leader, meaning I've taken leadership training. And being a certified image consultant, there's a lot of image consultants out there that call themselves image consultants, but are not certified. And what's the difference between that? I'm not saying they're right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying they're good, bad, or anything like that. Certification means that you take your business seriously, and you take it to the next level and get education. It's like a financial advisor going for more, CEUs, or a healthcare provider that is in business. You got CEUs behind you. In other words, you're doing ongoing education to better yourself and keep yourself in the updated in today's society. Because I'll just tell you, I've worked with coaches in the past that have not done that. And old school, and they think what they did 20 years ago is still working today, and it doesn't. If you don't keep yourself updated, you're going to be outdated. So keep yourself updated. And that's what certification to me means. And not all industries have certification, but if you're all constantly learning and you can prove that to yourself and to others, then you're doing well. You're doing
right. I love it. And just like you need to update your image, right, from time to time, or constantly be updating your image, to stay on trend, or so you don't get so outdated. We do need to update our knowledge base too, right? So I love that you have those certifications and that you've put in the effort to know what you're talking about, and you have the background and the knowledge to tap into whatever's happening in the industry, and you're up to date, which is great. Okay, we are going to, I want to just point out, I've been putting in the chat, in the live stream chats, your contact information. So I want to make sure people know that they can go in there. There's a place for them to book a call with you if they want to schedule a call. So what would it be like, or why would somebody call you? What would you suggest that they might be dealing with that you could help them with on this call?
Oh, that's a good question. You brought something up. It's like we always have to update our image, right? Well, put it this way: every 10 years, we should be looking at how we show up. We should be looking at, what our style is today. Is it resonating with who we are and what we're doing today? Because if you have transitioned in from a corporate environment to an entrepreneur, that's a different look. I know, I've been there. Or if you have changed from one career, such as you were an entrepreneur, but you were doing something else before, and now you're doing this. Does that resonate? Are your clothes outdated? I mean, are you outdated? I say you need a refresh every 10 years. So if every 10 years, we want to refocus on your closet, your clothes, your style, and these 3 to 5 words that represent who you are today and how you want to be perceived. Because if these 3 to 5 words don't resonate with how you show up, there is going to be a disconnect. And that disconnect people will see. And that's when that imposter syndrome comes in. It's
Mm-hmm.
when we don't feel 100% whole. And what I love to do is get my clients to be 100% whole from the inside out and the outside in. So you look and feel confident. You can go out and be, I always said this, I'm going to say this for my last little quote is, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you're more confident. When you're more confident, you perform at a higher vibration. And when you perform at a higher vibration, you make more money.
Yes. Amen. Yes. I love that. I love that. And it is that series of progression, right? We have to look good, to feel good, to be confident, to attract the people that we want to work with and feel confident in the work that we're doing. I love that, Dawn. Okay, great. Well, again, we have all of Dawn's contact information in the links below. We'll put it in the show notes below. But now we have a few just rapid fire questions for you. They're simple, one word, first answer, best answer. Don't overthink them, right?
Okay.
Okay. If you had to pick a theme song for your business, what would it be? That's a hard one right off the bat.
I know, but that one I know it. It's by Katy Perry, Hear Me Roar.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Which emoji do you use the most?
Oh my gosh. I love giving, I guess the smiley face with a little heart, like a kiss.
Yes, I use that one a lot too. If you had an extra hour in your day, how would you spend it?
Cooking.
Cooking. Nice. What's your favorite thing to cook?
I don't. I'm always looking at new recipes. Like I'm always trying to figure out something new to make. And if I have the time, I love to have the time, and I take my time and I do it. Yes.
Nice, nice. I love to cook as well. What is your go-to snack?
Cheese.
Cheese. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, great. So that gives us a little bit more insight into who is Dawn Stebbing. So again, thank you for being here, Dawn. Thank you for doing the Member Monday Spotlight. We're so happy to have you as part of the LEAP community. And for those of you watching this live and or watching the recording later, please make sure you connect with Dawn on LinkedIn and go to her website, check out all of the services that she offers. And there is the link in the show notes below or in the chat where you can schedule a call with Dawn and get that confidence going into the new year. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. But thanks again so much, Dawn. It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye.